I've recorded a couple of videos which I haven't uploaded, but a couple of them were a bit disjointed in places. I just wanted to talk from the perspective of consciousness, right? In this theater we call life, yeah. I think that the fact that so many things linger on and have become part and parcel of the reality, certain sayings, certain things, like, oh, that's just the way it is, certain rhymes and stories, all those sorts of things. It's all part of the programming, and they're like clues which reveal the true nature of life. Even from children's rhymes, row, row, row your boat. Life is but a dream. Twinkle stars, and there's always the stars and the moon and all these sorts of things, right? Because that's what we are at consciousness level. We are no different from the stars and the moon and the mountains. We are pure consciousness, man. So anyway, when you get a bit deeper into it, right, and you recognize that you are, I keep saying this, but it's almost incredible when you start to grasp it, how profound it is. But at the same time, it's like, whoa, we are actually fragments of God. And I've been saying this, we're like pieces of God, excuse me, in human flesh. And this has been said in different ways, but I want to talk about some of the programming. Yeah, I don't think that necessarily the programming is kind of like, all right, so here's the thing. If you play a video game and you choose the difficulty setting, yeah, and you put it on maximum difficulty and you're swarmed by zombies, or the bad guys are really, really, really hard to beat and stuff like that, right? You can't hold it against the bad guys. The bad guys, you chose the setting as consciousness. Remember, there is no game, there is no participation in life without consciousness, okay? If there is no consciousness, there's no game, there's no bad guy, there's no experience. The end, yeah? So, you create the whole you create the simulation and go inside of it, forgetting who you are. Forgetting that there's another version of yourself outside of here. The whole version of you, which is God or consciousness, whatever you want to call it. So many people come into the simulation and then become attached to the game. And they forget. They forget that's a game. Nobody, the fact that, like, all right, so look at it this way. There is no way that the game beats you. Like, you can choose to, there are so many shortcuts you can beat the game at. You can, people literally get up and change their identities. People would leave and go and stay on another part of the globe. So they leave one matrix, right? Completely like, nah, I'm not playing anymore. Doesn't matter, whatever mess that's there, they don't interact with it anymore. It doesn't exist, it's gone. Right? I'm not advocating that, but I'm just saying that these things that you've put above your head as like these powers or entities or blah, 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 it's not really tangible, because really it's you that creates them. You put them there, But what I wanted to talk about really today was you're just forgotten, and you're latching onto stories. You're latching onto the bad guy. You're latching onto something that happened. You're latching onto your story. Bro, they're just stories. They're just stories, man. And I know people have been through abuse and all types of stuff and all this other shit. I can't relate, and I'm not trying to put that down in any way, but I think that everything that we go through is designed, it serves a higher purpose. I truly believe that. And I know it's not easy to hear, but it's actually the truth. And take it from me, I had a traumatic childhood growing up, but in many ways it sharpened me to be who I am. Like, It's almost like the trauma, which is like the trauma is designed to shake you, to reorient you, you know, because we come here, we're very kind of like, once we drink the potion of forgetfulness, we come here and we're very, especially those of us that are conscious, right? Because once you, whether you go on the journey later or whatever, or you're somebody, you're drawn to it or whatever, in some timeline, you are a conscious, you are one of the conscious beings. You're not an NPC. Do you get it? The fact that you are on the journey, have been on the journey, that means it's part of your story. Yeah, your overall story. I don't know if I'm being clear, but because I believe that there are feeder people, just like in any other simulation, right? But the key point is to recognize that you are holding on to stories, man. You can literally change who you are just by changing your mind. That's how powerful you are. So the bad guy you're fighting, right? If you choose to imagine that he's not there, and you truly believe that he's not there, he will literally vanish like that. You give your problems life. You give your issues life. You shouldn't. Why? Oh, and then that's going to happen. 99% of the time, these things don't even happen. They only happen in your mind. They happen in your mind. It's like you construct a reality of that potential outcome and live in it. What the fuck, man? When you should be constructing the reality you want to live in and live in that. That's the whole point of it, man. You've just forgotten that you're God, man. You've just forgotten that you're a piece of God. And I know people say, oh, you can't say that, that's blasphemy. Bro, what's blasphemous about that? In your own religious text, it talks about man was made in his own image, right? Man was made from, he breathed the breath of life into man. He put a piece of himself into man. Yeah. So breathing the breath of life, making him in his own image. They're just old world speak for you are a fragment of me, or you're a piece of me, or you've got my essence. Do you understand? Like even your child who, okay, so you reproduce, you create a kid, right? They have components of you, right? But imagine there is no woman involved in that mix. That kid will be purely you. You get it? Imagine if you reproduce asexually. That kid will be purely you. It'll be a it'll be like a photocopy of you. You're a piece of God, man. It's not outlandish. It's not blasphemy. What is blasphemous? See, Christians, right? Christians are worshipping. Christians have created a vortex called Jesus Christ, right? Which is basically, they've personified consciousness, right? And they worship it. That's blasphemous because they read it in a book when that book was written by men. You know, and I know, yes, the whole notion of God put breath into man or made man in his own image, that also came from a book. But taking the book away, in my culture, well, I say my culture, but in the culture which this avatar came from, which is the African culture of the Akan people, there is an understanding that God made us. If you go into any culture in the world, historically, oh, God made us, we came from the stars, there's always that magical, mystical thing. Like, how is it possible that humans have come from monkeys, yet all our history says we came from the stars? How is that possible? How is it that the Dogon people, knew about Sirius, the star system Sirius and its revolving moon, whilst being on Earth without any telescopes? How is that possible? How did the Egyptians chart the zodiac wheel by merging Leo and Leo as is it Leo and Virgo, merging them together as the Sphinx, you know, with the pyramids showing Orion's belt. How's that possible? How is it that they've got all these buildings in Peru and all these places that are aligned with celestial bodies? Because our ancestors understood these things. And when I say ancestors, I don't mean it like some people that are removed from you. Your ancestors are you. You are your ancestors. I'm going to say that again. You are your ancestors. You, all of us, we are our ancestors. Yeah. The collective subconscious in physical form, the consciousness reproducing itself, coming back here through different bodies. Yeah. With the Akashic record or the collective subconscious in the background. Yeah. Taking different bodies. It's still us. Yeah. We're made of the same materials. And if I go back to my dad and my dad's dad and my dad's dad, even to the beginning, there's something in from the first guy ever. Yeah. In my line. When I say my line is different from your line. It's not, it's just one line. Life. And that's where they try and talk about the Big Bang, that spontaneous creation. There's just that line, that star system, whatever it was, that single point of creation. The elements from that are within me. They're within you. They're within everybody else except the NPCs, obviously. Do you get it? You're just God, but you've forgotten that you're God. And I know sometimes it's crazy because it's kind of like, how the fuck can I be God? I'm not holy. I'm a sinner. You know, Jesus Christ, even in the Bible, you know, he ate with the lowlifes and, you know, he communed with prostitutes and stuff like that. That's an allegory because these books have to tell you the truth because you have to leave clues for yourself as you're playing the labyrinth. Yeah. And that's why a lot of people that are conscious or are on this consciousness journey, they will read the Bible. They'll read it. They'll read the Quran. They'll read the books. They'll read whatever because they're searching for the truth. They know the truth is there and they're searching for it. You know, why would Hollywood go out of his way to spend millions of dollars making a movie that talks about simulated realities? When all the other movies they make is just bubblegum and shit, right? That means that they are creating a particular niche of movie for a particular type of person. There's the demand for it. It's the same in hip hop. It's the same in any type of art, any type of thing, any type of human expression. There is the expression which goes for the mass of people. Yeah. The everyday bubblegum rubbish, reality TV crap. But at the same time, within those very machines, those constructs, there are avenues where you can find truth, right? Which means that that's the job of the system. That's the job of the screen. That's why I'm not against, that's why I always talk about technology and these things. Like these things are not the way we look at them. We need to change the way we look at them. Like technology is not the enemy as we think. Technology serves a purpose. Like, bro, none of us on this journey could have learned what we've learned without technology. Tell me I'm lying, bro. A lot of stuff we read, we dissected, we focused on people we connected with, blah, blah, blah. We use the motherfucking internet for. So how is this such a bad thing? Do you get it? It's how you use it. And based on the type of frequency you're on, you will be drawn to certain things and it's just how to navigate the thing. That's all it is. It's a game. And even how like, what do you call that thing? The algorithm interacts with you. The algorithm is interacting with you because the algorithm knows you. You know it. You know each other. You're connected. You understand? So, yeah, that's just what I wanted to say. Yeah, man. You've just forgotten. Oh, crazy. And with other frequency, you're resonating with other timelines. You know, because everything's happening simultaneously. There's you here now. There's you in 200 years from now. There's you if you haven't finished the work there's you from 1,000 years back. You're all here now. You just can't see each other, you know? When you go into dreamland, what do you think that is? That's a whole different cosmos. It's a whole different universe. It exists. It's there. You might think, oh, well, it's only a dream. It's a project. Okay, so your brain, when it's supposed to be sleeping and put in your whole body to rest, yeah? Your heartbeat slows down, your breathing slows down, everything slows down. Your whole body goes into a rest and repair mode, right? But your brain is still active, but you wake up refreshed. So you think it's your brain that's dreaming. You think that, then you've got to be kind of dumb. Imagine resting your whole body, but your brain is going at 200 miles an hour, yeah? Flying a plane, jumping out of a building, you know, having dinner in Paris with some friends, or walking upside down a building, or flying, or whatever it is, yeah? Do you think you're going to wake up rested? Have you forgotten that there's a feedback system between the two? It's not your brain that's doing the dreaming. It's your consciousness that's dreaming. And your consciousness is just leaving your body to go somewhere else to go and handle business. That's all it is. That's all it is, man. That's all it is. That's all it is. But you need to remember who you are. You know, especially if you know that your story, the thing is, I put it this way. I think if your life looks like a movie from birth to now, how your whole life plays out, it looks like a movie, you really need to discover who you truly are, because your life is a movie for a reason. And if your life is a movie, you need to recognize that it feels like a movie because it's creating an experience for an audience, which includes your higher self. You're not an accident. You're not some fucking... If your life feels like a movie, it is a movie. Why do you think movies are so prevalent and have always been prevalent in our culture? Even from, like, with all the rise in technology and shit like this, like, movies haven't really changed. Have you not noticed? Like, storytelling, you know, from books and now there's like even more like layers to it, you know, reality TV and, you know, podcasts and all this stuff. It's still the same thing as a movie, you know, humans playing different roles and different parts and different things, and other humans watching and consuming it and being entertained by it, because that's the essence of life, experience and entertainment. You just have to come and experience, you know. There's nothing more to it. You know, you came here to, you create everything. You create everything. The only thing is, if all your powers are unlocked straight away, you become kind of dangerous. You can become kind of reckless. It's like that Will Smith movie, where he was a superhero. But he was like some washed up superhero, because it kind of gets to a point where you can get disillusioned with it. Do you understand? So the only thing that makes it fun is not knowing, you know, and then, you know, oh my God, like, and then somehow coincidentally, you know, you get bit by the spider, now you're Spider-Man, or coincidentally this happens and then that activates you, oh, you're this, or, you know. But what if Hulk was already Hulk? Because according to the theory of like timelines and stuff, Hulk was already Hulk, even before he became Hulk. Because everything, the now, the present and future all exist simultaneously. Do you understand? He had forgotten that he was Hulk. So he kind of needed a story, a movie to play out to kind of remind him or bring him to that. And it's like, oh, you know, it's the same. Every superhero story is the same thing. Because it's inside you. There's nothing external. Like Batman, you know, Batman didn't have to lose his parents and go through everything he went through to be this like solitary, you know, superhero. It's inside of him. It's inside of him. Even if his parents didn't pass away, it's inside of him. It's in him. It's him. That's what he is. Yeah? And the same applies to you, the humans, all of us. Life is it's a movie. All of us are just characters, right? and we play different characters. The character that you are, when I say characters, I don't mean play the ego character. I mean your true, authentic character, the true, authentic role. Look, as long as when you're acting, speaking, moving, doing whatever, as long as you're not wearing a mask and you're not operating from ego, that's your authentic self. That's your authentic self. Anyway.